These are my farmer carry handles, and today we're giving them 5 upgrades. And the last one's gonna completely change how I work out. Let's go. Farmer carry handles are one of the most underrated exercises and should be put in the same class as squat, deadlift, bench, and overhead press. Yep, I said that. So I built these bad boys about a year ago, and they've quickly become one of my favorite pieces of workout equipment. Now I used all scrap metal for this build. Each one of these handles weighs 120 pounds, which means this costs $60. You gotta love scrap. It's made of 8-inch deep by 8-inch wide I-beam. Now the weight pegs are made out of 2.5-inch tube. Let me check that real quick. 2-inch tubing. And the base of them is made out of 3-inch angle iron that's a 1/4 inch thick. Okay, let's get to the upgrades. Upgrade number 1, cutting corners. And I'm not talking about taking a shorter route. You can see these corners right here are pretty sharp. And when I don't drop these handles perfectly flat, they have a tendency to tip from one side to the other. The problem is my shins are on one side or the other, and it doesn't feel good. I've said some nasty things to these handles. Let's get it. Don't want to be getting that lung cancer. All right. So we got those corners rounded off. They're looking nice. Now we're gonna go through and hit a few of the other corners that we didn't cut off, but just kind of soften up those edges a little bit. Then we'll be good to go. Whew, enough of that. Let's get on to the next one. Upgrade number 2, sled feet, even though it's not a sled. What we're gonna do is add plate at an angle on the front and the back of each of these farmer carry handles, and that's gonna allow it to slide nicely when I drop these handles, and hopefully save my concrete floors. So I think what I'm gonna do is I have a fireball square. I'm gonna put this, oh no, it's way too big. Oh well. I have this 2x2 square tubing that I know is cut at a 45. So I'm just gonna lay that on the table and use that to get my angle. Harbor Freight 7018. Doesn't that just sound nice? That is the hardest angle I've seen, and there's no reason for this to be freaking 5 inches long. I don't know what, I didn't think through this very well. It looked horrible. Nor is it very useful. So I think what I have to do is cut it off. I'm gonna cut the plate down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll weld them on at a much less angle. So let's redo it. Pretty hard to cut with a hard disc. I'm gonna go change this. Got a skinny wheel. So what I ended up doing is just stacking these two plates at the very edge of it, and I like that angle right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack this plate on, weld it up if it looks all right, and then do the same with the other three.
If you're enjoying this content, smash that like button.
Upgrade number 3, adding weight peg caps. If rainwater gets into those weight pegs, if I ever store it outside, it's gonna start rusting real bad, rust out, and it's not gonna last. Also, I sometimes have a workshop helper that likes to put odd objects in hard to find places. Bringing out the big gun. So I got tired of using the skinny disc with that 4.5-inch angle grinder and throwing shavings everywhere, throwing a bunch of sparks, getting the place dirty, having to clean up. And so I went and got me a portable bandsaw from Harbor Freight. I can't wait to use it. So we're gonna go ahead and use this to cut up our round covers for the end of our pegs. We'll be rocking and rolling. Heck yeah. So I'm gonna cut this 1/4-inch plate to make the round pieces for the end of these pegs. It's already got a pretty good corner rounded off. So I'm just gonna fit that up, trace my marks, and then we're gonna cut it out using the bandsaw.
I think I got more paint on the peg itself than I did on the actual piece. But that's all right.
All right, so I'm all sweaty. I've been grinding. They're looking pretty good. I got nothing else I want to change, so we'll go to the next upgrade. Upgrade number 4, round bar on the edges. I'm gonna tack 3/8 round bar on the inside edge to save the legs. But first, coffee. Let's go. All right, next upgrade, and this is the one you've been waiting for. I'm making these a frame carry. What I'm gonna do, weld together a cross member that's gonna get bolted in on the front and the rear. It's gonna make this a single solid piece that I can pick up and move. What that's gonna do is completely change the feel of this loading, and it's gonna allow me to do farmer carries and frame carries with the same implement. For this, I'm gonna be using 2.5 outside diameter pipe and 2 pieces of scrap metal that I found at the scrap yard that was already cut to the perfect shape. So it's gonna save us some time. Let's go. Now let's go. So my pipe measured 57 inches. So what I'm gonna do is take 28.5. I'm gonna set up my farmer carry handles at that distance apart and make sure it's a good spacing. Why's it always gotta break? I did not think through this one. The plates that I used for the bolt pads for this cross base, I thought was gonna fit underneath the top and lower member of my I-beam. That's not gonna work. So I could cut the top and bottom of this off. I should have thought through it. Stupid. It's okay. We'll get it figured out. It's a hot one today. So I bolted everything down and everything's held together rigid. The next step is to tack each of the nuts that are holding this on. Tack that nut to that inside plate of the cross member. What that's gonna do, free up an extra hand when I'm putting this together. The only thing I have to worry about putting in and torquing down is just the bolt. So let's go ahead and go through and tack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 nuts to tack to those inside plates. And once we're done with that, we're gonna test it out.
That ain't gonna work. It's too heavy. We gotta take it apart. We're gonna reassemble outside. Held together, it feels solid. Now we're gonna take some standard weight plates, load them up on these pegs and see how well they slide on. Let's go. Alrighty. We got us a frame carry. I'm gonna clean it up and get it ready for paint. I'm gonna take a flap wheel, hit everything, and then I'm gonna take a wire wheel, kind of buff the paint out. I'm gonna paint each side a matte black, and then I'm going to paint each of the cross members with what's called a jungle green. It'll match my table. It'll look nice. Let's get to it. Clean it up, clean it up. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure and hit that subscribe button now. All right, we're all cleaned up.